Hello, I'm Bob Mayer, and welcome to West Point Trivia and Facts number 2. I graduated the academy quite a long time ago. Many of these are things we had to memorize as plebes. This one, who commanded major battles of the Civil War? 55 of 60 battles had West Pointers on both sides. That's one of the reasons I wrote my Duty on a Country series. That just amazed me. What did Sherman say of war? This is often misquoted. There's the full quote down there. Where is Execution Hollow and what was the significance? It was the Depression on the Plain. People go there now and they see these nice parades of half the corps, the full corps marching out there, but people were executed out there. It's the longest garrison military post in the United States. Robert Woods, New Smith 45, won an athletic letter in football at both West Point and Annapolis. Every year there are exchange cadets who go to the other academies. I remember Coach Joe Pallone. He was still there while I was there. Competitive intercollegiate athletics at West Point, Army-Navy game of 1890. Who's considered the father of the military academy? Colonel Sylvanus Thayer. Class 1808, because my name's Mayer. Some sort of rhyme I had in Beast Barracks had something to do with Mayer and Thayer. I don't really remember it. History of the Great Chain, you can read it here. Essentially, the reason why West Point was so important was it was a bend in the Hudson River, which was the main traffic up and down the Hudson. So they floated the Great Chain across it to keep sailing ships from passing through. Here's a map that shows you West Point's on the lower left. Fort Arnold is West Point, Constitution Island. So ships had to tack around there. The Army Mules, Spartacus, Ranger, Trooper, and Traveler. Cadet Chapel, largest church organ and third largest organ in the world. The stained glass windows in the north wing of the mess hall. Life of George Washington. I mentioned this. West Point's been garrisoned since 20 January 1778. Kissing Tree, Flirtation Walk, 112 yards from Barth Hall. Mistakes on the French monument, if you look at it carefully. You got a curved saber, you got a straight scabbard. The wind's blowing the flag in one direction, the coattails in another, and the cannonballs are bigger than the cannon. Yeah, we all make mistakes. Richard Shea, class of 1952, posthumous Medal of Honor for his actions on Pork Chop Hill. Artillery lieutenant walking on the fire of Pinking's Imperial Gate in 1901 and chalking targets for his guns on the hinges of the gates. You'd think they could see it, but whatever. 5 generals in the Army who was not a USMA graduate was George Marshall, VMI 1901. He paid for his misery. 294 West Point grads served in the Confederacy. How many became generals? 14 of them. 800 West Point grads serving in the Union Army during the war. 297 became generals. What's interesting is before the war, not a single one, even with the Mexican War, was a general officer. I wrote a series about, several series about West Point. Duty on a Country is a historical one, but my newest series, New York Minute, Will Kane is class of 66, 2 tours in Vietnam, and he's back in New York City, sort of a Jack Reacher in New York City in 1977. Here's the covers of the 5 books. I'm finishing up the 6th one now. The first book in Duty on a Country is free. That goes from 1842 at West Point through the Battle of Shiloh. If you'd seen the miniseries Rome, it's very much like that with 2 ordinary people affecting history. This one got me in a little bit in trouble with the Association of Graduates. The line, what if there's a coup, and updated 7 days in May. And here's my background. Hope you found this interesting, and I've got other presentations on West Point facts and trivia.